I have just spent like 30 minutes getting this shot right, so I hope that this works. Anyway, I want to do a kind of a different type of video this week, kind of something maybe a little bit more personal. And I want to talk about my sexuality. I identify as asexual. I'm somewhere on the spectrum, probably not completely asexual, but definitely not allosexual, which is just the opposite of asexual. And for me, it's just easier to say I'm asexual because people tend to understand that more than if you were to say demisexual or gray sexual, that kind of thing. So today I want to talk about my experience being asexual and what it's like being asexual in a very non-asexual world. It's difficult. I do have a lot of privilege because generally people just read me as straight. When I say that, I mean they assume that I'm straight. They don't really question my sexuality at all. So that can be kind of annoying because it's like this big part of you is being erased in a way. So it's like, it's not really who I am, but you don't want to, it's kind of awkward to bring up sometimes. Something else that I've kind of experienced, especially the last relationship I was in, it can become very frustrating for a partner that you're with if they're not asexual. The last person I dated, I told them at the beginning of the relationship that I was not interested in sex at all right now. Like, that's not what I want out of a relationship. I don't think that it's necessary to have a good relationship. And he was completely fine with it at the beginning, and a couple months into it, he ended up breaking things off, and one of the main reasons was he felt that we didn't have a sense of intimacy. And that kind of brings me to my next point. It's kind of, to me anyway, it's kind of harmful to assume that sex equals intimacy, or that intimacy equals sex, that you have to have one to have the other. To me, intimacy is just feeling close to someone and feeling a close connection with them. And for me, I can do that without sex. And being 20, almost 21 years old, and I've never had sex, I don't have a desire to have sex at this point in my life, it can be really frustrating to people that I'm with, because I am romantically attracted to men, and at this point they are at their like peak of sexual performance, sexual drive. I don't know. And so it can be kind of frustrating to them when they don't necessarily have an outlet for that, I guess. I'm trying to see things from their point of view because people don't always see things from my point of view, so I can understand why it's frustrating. Something else that I know gets under a lot of asexual folks' skin is the assumption that you're just a prude, or the assumption that it's some sort of religious thing. And for me, I am religious, and I do want to wait until I'm married before even considering anything like that. Plenty of asexual people choose to have sex for a variety of reasons, be it they want to make their partners happy and they don't feel like they're sacrificing something by doing that, or just because it feels good, you know? Sex is designed to feel good, and I'm sure that it does. I just don't personally have a desire to feel that, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's not like celibacy or abstinence, or you might have that desire but you kind of repress it and you say, no, I'm not going to act on this. It's just you don't feel a sexual attraction to anyone. So there's nothing there for you to act on. Else that kind of makes living in a non-asexual world hard is that people kind of just assume that you're lying about your sexuality to get some sort of attention, or they just assume that asexuality doesn't exist. And I can understand that in a way, because at this point in time, I think it's estimated that about 1% of the world's population, or the population that's been studied, is asexual. It's not a big thing. Of course, when you look at 1% of 7 billion people, that is still a large amount of people, but it's a very small percentage of the world's population. So it's really easy to just say, oh, you know, like, that doesn't exist. Everybody wants to have sex. Everybody has sexual attraction to the people that they're with. And that's not true. And it's really frustrating to, like, see this whole community just erased. Because, like, I didn't even know what asexuality was until probably the summer before my first year of college. And I went all throughout high school just thinking that I was really weird, because I was like, I dated people in high school, but I never had any desire to have sex. I didn't want them to touch me anywhere. I didn't want to touch them. I still kind of think that penises are gross, to be honest. But you just, like, I didn't realize that there was a term for how I was feeling and for how I felt, and it was so, like, just a weight off my shoulders when I figured out what asexuality was. I was like, this makes sense. Here I am. This is what I am. This is great. Erasing that whole community, you never know what you could be doing to someone who is like me and just feels weird and very out of place, because they don't realize that they have an option besides straight, gay, or bi, which is really all I knew about in high school and all a lot of high schoolers know about. So, but with all of those, you have to be sexually attracted to someone, and if you're just not sexually attracted to anyone, you're kind of left there thinking, well, I'm kind of weird, I just don't really know what's going on, and then that can lead to, like, a lot of bad decisions, having sex anyway when you don't really want to, and just bad things. Be true to yourself and don't let anybody else tell you what you have to do. That's the general takeaway from this video today, I think. I think I'm gonna end it. I think I've gotten most of my issues out. Yep. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry if you can't really relate or you just don't get it. If you have any questions about asexuality, like, please leave them in the comments. If they're polite, don't be rude, because I won't. I'll just block them and delete them, and it won't be a fun time for anybody. But if you have any genuine questions about my sexuality or asexuality in general, you can leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe for a new video every week. And I will see you guys later. Bye!